I'm over 10,000 kills deep across 2 Great One grinds, and I don't have a single Great One. That has never happened to me before. And before I go any further, think about this. What's the longest you've ever gone without a Great One? I've done a lot of Great One grinds. In my 8 years of playing, I've spawned 44 Great Ones. So I know what normal RNG looks like for me. I know when a grind is just slow, and I know when something feels off. And right now, this grind feels different. Here's where I'm at. I'm 4,962 kills into my second Great One Wolf grind. This isn't my first Wolf grind. I know the setup, I know the rotations, and I know the process. At the same time, I'm 5,019 into my first Great One Wild Boar grind. That puts me at 10,000 total kills with nothing to show for it. I mean, obviously I've spawned several diamonds and rares, but no Great Ones. 10,000 kills without any Great Ones? That is a lot of kills and a lot of time and energy. Like, wow! This isn't just bad luck for me. This is the longest dry streak I've ever had. Usually by this point, you get something. A moment where you think, okay, it's coming. But this grind has been quiet, both of them. And that's what made me start to pay closer attention. Okay, so here we are on my Great One Grey Wolf grind in Yukon Valley. Here is my setup, and man, I have been doing this grind for a very long time. So, here are my stats. Are you ready? They're kind of shocking. Here we go. So I am 4,960 kills into my second Great One Grey Wolf grind with 100 diamonds, 14 rares, and 37 trolls. Now, because my 2 grinds are almost at the exact same amount as far as kills go, it's going to be very interesting to compare the two. So I have got a lot more diamonds on the Wolf grind compared to the Boar grind. Let me share my Wild Boar stats with you. So on the Wild Boar grind, and this is my first grind for the Great One Wild Boar, I do not have a Great One Wild Boar yet. It's the only Great One I need in the entire game to have at least one of every Great One species. So I have 5,040 kills into the Wild Boar grind with 26 diamonds, and I know that is terrible. I know. We'll talk about it in a second. 24 rares and 6 trolls. So what does this say? Well, when you compare the 2 grinds, I did not herd manage my boar grind early enough. I started to herd manage it about 2,000 kills ago, and because it is a grind using feeders, using the bait barrels, it's not a precise grind. So it's really impossible to really tightly herd manage with barrels. Maybe it's not. I'm just not very good at it, maybe. I just think I could probably do a better job were I grinding their actual zones and herd managing that way, but grinding it right in the middle of the night in the pitch black darkness, and their drink zones are like in the thick of it. They're right in the forest. They're not easy to see. It would be a really dark and depressing grind, and I really didn't want to do that. So, comparatively speaking, 26 diamonds for the Wild Boar grind compared to 100 for wolves. Now, I have herd managed my wolves. I have done all of the herd zones. I just have not shut down my solos. So I'm going to do that next. That is what we're going to work on. But you can see it in the diamond rate, 100 diamonds, which is about 1 diamond for every 50 kills. When you don't use any herd management, you usually get about 1 diamond for every 100 kills. That's what I have seen. That's what I've noticed across my grinds anyway. So we've been getting 1 for every 50 kills. I have 100 diamond gray wolves just from this grind. I really don't need any more. I just don't. But the amount of rares has been really, really terrible. 14 rares in 5,000 kills. That equates to about 1 rare for every 354 kills. And I actually had 2 times during this second grind, the second very, very long grind, where I went about 1,000 kills with absolutely no rares, because they don't come like clockwork every 354 kills. Sometimes you'll get 2 within 100 kills, and then you don't get any for a very long time. And when you go 1,000 kills with nothing spawning except for diamonds, it gets to be really dry and boring. It really does. So the diamond rate for the boar grind is pretty abysmal. 26 diamonds in 5,000 kills is absolutely embarrassing. It is. I know it is. Most of those diamonds actually came in the last 500 kills, I would say. Since I really started to herd manage, my diamond rate has pretty much gone through the roof. So as I continue to do the boar grind, the diamond rate is going to continue to increase. Wild boar are not bad trolls. I mean, only 6 trolls and 5,000 kills. Pretty great compared to the 37 trolls for gray wolves. They are nasty little trolls. Anyway, those are the numbers. Now, I want to mention that on my very first Grey Wolf grind, it only took me 423 kills. And it was the easiest grind I have ever set up. Out of all 44 of them, this was the easiest. I literally got on the map. It was during early access, so I was really in a hurry. I wanted to spawn this great one in early access, if at all possible. So I set up on the first 8 zones that I found with 2 tents, a tripod, and I started shooting the 2 largest males from every zone. That's all I did. I did not find my drink zones, which I have never done before. And I had a great one on the map and 423 kills. So that proves that it works. This method does work. So there's nothing wrong with the method. So now I'm doing the same thing, except for on the second grind, I have done a lot more herd managing and 5,000 kills and still no great one. You have to laugh. Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm being punished. That's how it feels. Now, I just want to give you an idea of how many hours I have put into 10,000 kills to get nothing out of it so far anyway. So these are my live streams. Let's see, how many Great One Grey Wolf live streams did we do? Okay, I counted them. And interestingly enough, I have done 22 Great One Grey Wolf live streams, and I have done 22 Great One Wild Boar live streams. And most of them are about 2.5 to 3 hours long. That's on top of the hours and hours and hours that I've spent grinding on my own time. I grind every morning when I wake up for at least an hour, usually 2 or 3. And then in the evening, I spend 2 or 3 hours grinding right before I go to bed. And I do that every day, and I have for quite a while. I am sick of shooting. I'm getting a little sick of this, not gonna lie. So then something interesting happened. I noticed something, and I think this is where a lot of us, myself included, might be making a mistake. Most grinders use what is called the 1-minute trick. Okay, so watch this. This is kind of crazy. So when you come to a zone, the first thing you do is you spot around your bait barrel. And when you have no pigs there, that's when you would want to do the 1-minute trick. Now, if you're not sure what the 1-minute trick is, all you do is you come into a tent, change the time forward by a minute or 2. That's it. Yes, it can be expensive, but brings in something to shoot. It's worth it for most grinders. Then you come back and you check your bait barrel. If nothing's there, you fast travel to the next zone and keep on grinding, right? Well, we've actually been doing it wrong. Look, they're here. They take longer to show up now. If you just wait an extra 10 to 15 seconds, not always, but a lot of the time, they will spawn in after doing the 1-minute trick. And we have been fast traveling too fast. We check it, we see nothing, and we fast travel. When really what we should be doing is waiting to see if they're going to show up. They take longer than they used to respawn using the 1-minute trick. So I actually want to show you this. So we're going to do that again. Okay, so we fast travel, we check around the bait barrel, there's nothing there, we go to do the 1-minute trick. So we move the time forward by a minute or 2. What this does is it brings animals into their zone so that we have something to shoot. And previously, it happens pretty much instantaneously if it is going to happen. Doesn't always work, but it does often work. So I'm going to put the time forward by a minute. So then we check. And at this point, we would then stop looking and fast travel to the next zone when there's nothing there. But here's the thing we should be doing. We actually want to wait 10 or 15 seconds. And then if nothing shows up, then we can fast travel to the next zone. Now it's not working here, but let's try that at another zone. Okay, here we are. Nothing at the zone. 1-minute trick. Now this is what we should be doing. So we look, now wait. Don't fast travel away yet. Come on, baby. There they are! There they are. So it just takes a few extra seconds. Sometimes it's even longer than that, but they just don't come in instantly. So we want to be a little bit more patient at our zones when using the 1-minute trick. And I just wanted to share that with you guys so that you don't fast travel away too fast when you could be shooting what is here. Yeah, so a lot of grinders, I'm pretty sure, have been assuming that the zones are empty when they actually aren't. I know I was. And if I have been doing that across 2 Great One grinds, that's potentially hundreds of thousands of missed opportunities. Is it the reason my Great Ones haven't spawned? No, definitely not. So that doesn't mean the grind is broken. It doesn't mean the 1-minute trick doesn't work. It just means the timing is different than it used to be. And we need to slow down and wait a little longer for those respawns to appear. I'm a little sick of the grind, I'm not gonna lie. I'm getting a little sick of it. I mean, 10,000 kills is a lot of kills. It gets to the point where you really just need to take a break. Oh, there's a level 5. That helps. That's awesome. We may have another diamond. All right, well, let's shoot it. Let's shoot it. So right now, I'm not shooting the 1s or the 2s. I'm only shooting the 3s and up. Okay, just making sure that this guy is facing me. All right, hopefully I don't ruin this. Well, we got him. But yeah, at this point, I just want it to spawn. I honestly feel like it's impossible. I feel like I am grinding for nothing. I know I'm not, and I know it's got to pop at some point, but I just feel that way mentally. You know what I mean? But my diamond rate is definitely going up, not with this kill. We got trolled. Rip City. Aw, man. Well, that is unfortunate, but what can you do? But yeah, it's, this has never happened to me before. I feel like I can't spawn great ones anymore. I know it's not true, but that is just how I feel. But I will keep shooting. I'm going to keep tightening up my herd management. I do think if I had a herd managed right from the start, we don't know if herd management makes great ones spawn sooner, but I have a sneaking suspicion that it definitely does help. I think it does. So my wolves are herd managed. I just need to deal with the solos, so I am going to do that. And I will keep shooting because when I am done with this boar grind and this wolf grind, I'm heading back to a ski ridge to do the A Ski Ridge 5 Great One Challenge. I have a Great One Mule Deer and a Great One Whitetail stacked there, and they need some friends to hang out with, and then I need to shoot them all. We will be doing the Great One Black Bear, Pheasant, and Wolf grind in a ski ridge, and then we're going to shoot all 6 Great Ones back to back in one crazy live stream. If I can ever leave Scotland, ever. If I can never spawn this Great One boar. What I'm actually going to do is, once this boar spawns, I am going to go and work on the A Ski Ridge Great One Challenge, and I'm going to shoot the wolves in my own time, and when the Great One spawns, I will shoot it live with you guys. Wouldn't have it any other way. So 10,000 kills without a Great One isn't where I expected this grind to be, but it is where I am. I'm not quitting. I'm slowing down, paying closer attention, and seeing where this goes. And if you're grinding a Great One right now and feeling discouraged, you're not doing anything wrong. This is just the part nobody talks about. RNG is real, and if you don't get the luck, you're not going to spawn a Great One. It's as simple as that. Let me know your worst dry streaks and whether it eventually paid off, because I think a lot of us are in this together. If this video helped you feel a little bit less crazy about your own grind, then it did its job. Tell me how your Great One grind is going, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Leave a like if you did enjoy the video, and we'll keep figuring this out together. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Let's keep shooting. And I'm going to recommend that you click right here for my Great Ones playlist.